Hello, hello. This is episode 3 of Mizu Midori podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Japanese movies we saw a few recently,
Ooh.
and we are excited. I am at Night Wolf, and I'm here with Sad Wolf. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get started. First film, which one would we like to talk about first?
Let's just do them in order. So we can start with Godzilla.
Okay, Godzilla. Your first time watching it,
Gojira.
what, yeah, Godzilla, as it's properly pronounced. What did you think of it when you first saw it?
I think it was really great. I thought that the effects were very incredible for 50s, like the 50s, because most people were just like, oh, it's just a dude in a costume basically playing with toys. But it's like at the time, it was one of the biggest films in the 50s in Japan because it looked so real.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, they took the suit off. They pour out like a bucket of sweat because he sweated so much inside the
Yeah.
suit.
I actually heard the suit was ruined because of that. Like, there was some it
hmm
was, like, just soiled because of it.
Yeah, they couldn't use it for more than one film, I think, maybe two,
Yeah, they
because
had to make other ones.
and it's like there was like a different suit every Godzilla. That's why his appearance changes throughout the films because like it was never a consistent suit. Um, there's like an archive of why he has different eyes in this movie, why he has different noses in different movie, why his frills on his back look different. It was all different.
There's actually concept designs of his first, appearance in the 50s, and I think apparently he had, a different head design. Originally, his head was supposed to resemble, like, a mushroom cloud.
Yep. Because he was radioactive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But then they went with more traditional dragon style for
Yeah.
his face, like he's
I
supposed
Go
to be
ahead.
bad, bad, bad radiation monster from the deep.
Mhm. And
Now,
it was the beginning of, the kaiju, film genre in Japan.
yep, a lot of American movies came out after it too. After the success of Godzilla, there's a pseudo dub version called the Godzilla King of Monsters, um, which had an American actor playing in the role as well, but he was just a background character. He wasn't really in any major scenes. Um,
Mhm.
he was just like added in as like an extra in some of the edits. Um, Funny enough, that actor's name, well, the character's name was Steve Martin.
Mhm.
No, no kidding. Um, but yeah, it was called Godzilla King of Monsters, and that was the American version, American release. And the reason why they added the American actor into it, so American audiences have something to follow along with, so they understand what was going on. But in sequels, they decided not to do that and just released a regular dub version of Godzilla films.
Yeah. We actually watched it in Japanese with subtitles because I was told by my dad the US releases, like, the dubs were very horrible, and they actually were mocked for a long time because of how horrible, like, the English versions were. So many people prefer the original Japanese versions.
Oh yeah, definitely. The subtitle versions are way better. Um, because if you were to watch later ones, um, the dub look it just sounds really bad. Like the the voices just doesn't match the characters at all. They don't sound like how they should sound, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just that was just Godzilla back in the day. Okay, next film. Throne of Blood.
Throne of Blood.
Take it away.
Uh, this is he's probably telling me because basically this movie it was directed by Akira Kurosawa and it's basically a retelling of the Shakespeare drama Macbeth. Instead of medieval Scotland, it takes place in medieval or feudal Sengoku period Japan, and it's a samurai film. And, I'm gonna because I have it in my notes somewhere about the characters' names. So, if you wanted to talk about the film while I search for my notes real quick.
Sure. Well, the film,
Sorry.
the film is the film is good. It was different. I like some of the effects they were doing with the ghosts that were involved, and especially the one that was in his throne room that kept appearing, freaking him out. It was too good. I mean, if I saw that, I would freak out too because it was so unsettling. Um, but yeah, we had to watch it not dubbed or subtitled because the version we watched was like just traditional Japanese.
Uh,
It's not it's not our fault. It's just that we were watching on a player that didn't have subtitles. And if you played VR chat and you go to Popcorn Palace, you'll know what I'm talking about. Um, so we just watched it, but with Sad Wolf here, he knew the story of Macbeth, so he was able to like get me into the story beat. So I was able to follow along quite well with it. This is
so
part of the reason why
go
we
ahead.
want to look. Part of the reason why we want to learn Japanese.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So basically, I was having like a run through of basically the gist of the story because I knew Macbeth from my senior year. We read it in my senior year of high school, and it was the story of the Macbeth story was okay, but I feel like Throne of Blood, Akira Kurosawa did it like better. I don't know if it's biased because I love like Japanese samurai films, but I just think that I enjoy samurai movies better than or like samurai stories and samurai movies better than like knight stories and stuff. As much as I love medieval stuff, but so basically it follows the story of his name is Taketoki. He's the main character, the Macbeth character of the story, and he's this great samurai. And him and his friend Yoshiaki, they meet this forest spirit that basically tells them that uh, Taketoki will be the basically the lord of the whatever garrison or
It
castle
was called
that is where they're at.
Spider's
And
Web. Yeah.
yeah, um, and so one day a senior lord, Noriyasu, comes over and visits uh, Taketoki and his wife, Lady Asahi, and Asahi basically convinces Taketoki to murder the Lord so he will become Lord and like in the Macbeth story. And basically Taketoki becomes Lord of the castle and his he just gets like delusions and his just sanity just spirals from there until his eventual demise at the end of the film where he's killed by his own men. They riddle him with arrows,
Spoiler for those who haven't seen it.
which is a it's a very it was very graphic for a film made in 57.
Yeah, poor timing on the spoiler
But
alert.
like I said, Japanese films had more of a more of a, like, easier code than they did in America, because I know a film like that would have never been made in America in the 50s, because it
Yeah,
just shows it straight up, like, the arrow going through his neck like that. We both winced. We were just like, "Oh,
yeah. And the actor, he did a great job doing that too, because it's like,
wonderful."
I have
Um,
a neck injury. I can't talk now, and I'm about to die.
so the actor who plays Taketoki is Toshiro Mifune, um, and he is notorious because he was a very famous 50s Japanese actor in the
Hmm.
50s, and he was in many samurai films, and he was in many films up until his, I think, death in, I think you said 94, 95.
Yes,
Yes,
95,
and,
97, somewhere in there.
he was in another movie, that we watched called The Hidden Fortress, but we'll, get to that in a
Very
little
good.
bit,
Yep.
because we have another movie that I'm really excited to talk about. It's called, Good Morning. And
Or
it came out in
the
oh,
actual English, not English, Japanese title,
Japanese.
Ohio. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Mhm. So, Good Morning, centers around, 2 boys, Minoru and Isamu, um, and they are upset because their parents will not buy them a black and white TV set like their friend has at his home, and basically, it's this slice of life, comedy film from 1959, and it's just I I really love it because it reminds me of like animes that I used to watch that were just really wacky. Because there's that one part that I love where the old woman is praying on top of the hill, and her daughter, which is one of the boys' mothers, comes out and she's like, "Breakfast is ready. Can you come down?" And she's like, "What is she doing up there?" And there's that one part, and that other mother are talking, and she said, "Why are you telling everybody that I bought a washing machine and you haven't paid your dues yet?" And she said, "I did." And she's like, and she goes back to her house and she asks her mother, who's basically, I think she's the one who's in charge of everyone's dues in the neighborhood. It's basically like a homeowners association. And she's like, "Did the lady next door pay her dues?" And she like finds the envelope with the money that the mother gave her. And she was like, "Oh, it's right here." And then she goes back and she says, "I'm terribly sorry."
Hmm.
Basically just like eating her words. Basically, she was like, "Please forgive me for being an idiot."
Baka, baka.
Oh, yeah, and then there was another part that me and Matt like, there's a scene where the boy's father comes home, well, no, before that, they're the mother's getting the table ready for dinner, and they're basically sulking because they asked their mother for a TV, and she was like, "No, it's too expensive and it'll rot your brain." And they're just like, "Well, we still want a TV." And she's like, "Come eat your dinner." And then he's just like dried fish and miso again. And then she's like, "You promised you both wouldn't complain."
Yeah, it's like here in America where we eat meatloaf or something.
Yeah,
Or
in the 50s, it was, like, compared to, like, a kid just being like, "Oh, meatloaf again," or something like that, but in Japan in the 50s, it was like, "Oh, dried fish and miso soup again."
like that scene in A Christmas Story where it's like red
Oh,
cabbage.
yeah, and she's like, "You love red cabbage?" And then the mother's like, "Well, you can starve, I don't care."
And then the boys take a vow of silence.
They do, yes, so, basically, the boys are still talking about wanting a TV, and then their father comes home, and the mom's just like, "Those boys have been, like, a nuisance to me all day." And Minoru, the older boy, he's like, "Well, we want a TV." And the dad's just like, "Stop with this nonsense. You both are talking too much." And then Minoru's just like, "Every day it's the same. You say, 'Good morning. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Good night. How's the weather?'" And his dad's just like, "Baka." It's like
Baka.
idiot in
Idiot.
Japanese.
Hmm.
Yeah. He calls the boy an idiot. And so basically after that, both of the boys decide to take a vow to basically protest in silence until their parents give them a TV, and eventually they do at near the end of the film. That was another funny part. So, um, also, if you haven't seen these movies, you should go see them, so it won't be a spoiler warning for any of these because these are really great
Oh yeah, by
films.
the way, spoiler warning.
Yeah. So, near the end of the film oh, wait, no, because there's another scene, so I'll talk about those. I think the scene after this one, Minoru and Isamu are in their room, and Minoru's like, uh, "Isamu, we're gonna be silent," and Isamu's just like makes this little hand symbol, and he's like, "If I need to talk, can I use this?" And he says, "Yes." And so their aunt comes in the room, and she's like, "Oh, I got cake, do you guys want some?" And then Isamu's just doing the little, like, symbol because he wants to talk because he wants cake, and he's Minoru's just shaking his head. He's like, "You guys don't want cake? It's really good."
Boys turning down cake. Mm.
Yeah, so basically the older, people in the family are just trying to get them to talk throughout the movie, and, in the beginning, they think that the boys are bluffing because the mom's just like, "Good, it's finally quiet in here." And, but by the end of the film, there's a part when the boys are really hungry and they steal the rice cooker and the teapot, and they go up on the hill to, eat the rice and the, tea or whatever, and then a policeman comes, and so they both, like they both start running, and then it shows the policeman with the tea kettle and the rice cooker, and he made noodles with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's near the end of the film, so near the end of the film, the parents are worried because that's the night that the boys are missing, and they haven't came home for dinner, and their the aunt goes out to look for them, and then I think a man in the story there's a man in the movie that they hang out with that found them, and the parents tell them to come in, and they're expecting, like, get, like, a punishment or something, but they're like, "Go look in I think they don't even say that. They just go in, like, the hallway, and then it's, like, a box with a black and white TV set like they wanted, and the dad says something like, "But make sure you study hard because y'all were y'all were being quiet at school." Oh, yeah, there's that part when, it shows the boys at school, and even at school, they're being quiet, and the teacher comes to the house, and he's like, "Your boys were very quiet, last week. They didn't say a word at school." And the
Yep.
and the, I think the dad says, like, "Sorry, I apologize for my boys being idiots," or something.
We do not know the brand of the TV set, so don't ask. It's either Sony or Toshiba.
Probably, either a Sony or Toshiba, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to look it up, but it said it wasn't specific, but I'm guessing it's that, and I just love where you're like, "We can watch baseball too."
Yep. They were into
Yeah.
the sumo wrestling too.
Yeah, it was, in the beginning, yeah, Minoru went to his, friend's house, I have it in my notes, his friend's name. I'll look that up real quick. You can talk about your favorite scenes.
I love how they always like try to get people to poke their foreheads and they let off a queef.
Oh, yeah.
It's like touch my forehead and it
Yeah, they
and
did
then
at the beginning of the film.
yeah, and then the little boy does it too, and it's like a little one, whoop, or something like that. And then one of their friends, he has an issue, and so when they do it to him, he ends up soiling himself, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
He always has to ask, "Why don't you buy me more underwear?" from his mother. And at the end of the film, we see on the clothesline more underwear for him.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, it's a charming film, very charming. I enjoyed it wholeheartedly. It shows so it has like kind of the suburban lifestyle, Japanese suburban lifestyle where you can see them where the houses are so close together they can literally walk across to each other. They even see some parts of don't think they filmed it directly in Tokyo, but it was definitely on a soundstage of some sort because some of the apartment and the office buildings and schools were like from the same building, just redecorated. So, but apparently it took place like outside of Tokyo in a suburb, um, just down the hill from a walking path of some sort. I wanted to say it's some kind of like an old train bridge that was used. Um, but Saddle corrected me on that one. They say no, it might have been something else.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I don't I think they don't even mention the boy's name, like, that was his friend, but I just remember I forgot he has a friend that has a black and white TV, and at the beginning, his mom's like, "Where are you going?" And Minoru has a book because he's like, "I'm gonna go, study English with my friend," and he doesn't do that, and his little brother goes too, and she's like, "Why are you going?" He's like, "I'm gonna go study English too." And at that point, the mom knows that they're probably not gonna go study English. They're probably gonna go to the neighbor's house to watch, sumo wrestling on the TV.
oh yeah, those parents knew what they were doing.
Mhm. There was also, I love the scenes where it's, like, the older women in the neighborhood, in the beginning, they're, like, coming to each other's, house or, like, being like, "Ohayo gozaimasu," and stuff like that, and coming in just to gossip. There's, like, I heard, that one lady down the street has a washing machine.
Mm-hmm. It's like you gotta pay your dues first, and then buy a washing
Mhm.
machine. People
Then
get
buy a washing machine.
yeah, and they got all the gossip, and it's like that's typical 1950s fashion. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we were impressed. It's like that happens in America all the time.
It was, like, similarities between, like, 50s America and 50s
Very.
Japan. It was, like, there was some stuff that was, like, just the same. It's the same in every country still, like, but it was just, like, the culture was different.
Oh yeah, culture different. Um, Gossip same. Um, okay.
Very very fun and comedic film. I would watch it again, like, 'cause I was the first time I heard about the film was in, I think, 2021 or 2022, and I just, was curious about it, and I looked it up, like, the name of it again, and I was like, "Oh, I wanna definitely watch this with Matt because 'cause I've been curious about this film for a long time," and I was not disappointed 'cause, it was it's a very simple film because in Japan at the time, they had lots of, like, these dramatic samurai romance films, and then you have this film about 2 boys being quiet and wanting a TV, which was, it's basically what TVs are what most kids in, like, everywhere wanted in the 50s.
Yep.
So that was basically like they and there's that thing that the dad said when he was at the bar, and he said, "I'm not gonna buy my, kids a TV." He said, "TVs are making," I think he said, like, 10,000,000 Japanese people idiots.
Yep. The one thing about television back then in the 50s, they were very expensive. They were not very common.
Very expensive.
They weren't common yet.
Yeah.
It's like I believe the mother was talking about a scene earlier where it's like you want to watch wrestling, listen to it on the radio, and radios were
Yeah.
more common at that point. Cheaper too, before the transistor became a thing back in the 60s.
Yeah, it
Um,
was, people in Japan still had radios at the time because, like, yeah, like what Matt said, TVs were really expensive, and so most people in Japan and other places still use, transitioner radios to hear about baseball or sumo wrestling and stuff like that.
yeah, and those poor boys had to watch that on rabbit ears. Cable wasn't a thing yet. Good old rabbit ears.
Yeah, it's just a great film, and then, our next one will be about, The Hidden Fortress.
Spoiler alert. Gotta say it early now.
Uh, Yep,
Um, the Hidden Fortress. It
you
was
said it.
It
Um, it,
inspired Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It you can see some similarities in this movie and compare it to Star Wars because you had the ditzy duo, basically C-3PO and R2-D2. They had the princess, like Princess Leia. They had the so-called Obi-Wan Kenobi Han Solo figure that was escorting him around, and you really don't see the hidden fortress while it's hidden. Like the hidden fortress is basically a hideaway that was protected throughout most of the film, and they do meet a couple other guys. One ends up helping them in the end, and they stumble across a bunch of gold that they were transporting, and all this gold was hidden inside sticks and bundles of sticks, and they had to transport it through these different territories to try to save this princess's kingdom.
So, the two uh peasant samurai, their names are I th- I think it's Tahe
Hmm.
and Matashichi,
Yep.
and they were the inspirations for C3PO and R2D2,
Yes.
like Matt said.
Yep.
And so I got from this film, so the I think the lead characters are General Rokurota Makabe, also played by Toshiro Mifune, who
Hmm.
played Tokitaki in Throne of Blood. Uh, Princess Yuki Akizuki, that's basically the Princess Leia,
Yep.
and uh, there's that other boy that I think you said represented Luke.
Yep. But he was briefly in it.
Yeah, um, but yeah, I could get that because he was more of like the quiet one. Like he like basically did like fighting, like just did like silent fighting basically, and he said like a couple lines and stuff. And I feel like George Lucas was probably inspired by that because Luke kind of has this like quiet, like timid, like or like calmness to him in like the first Star Wars.
Yeah, he had that throughout the trilogy he started in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
You also get a little bit of a few elements in this film that probably inspired a little bit of Phantom Menace. Because there was a time where the princess used a double, and in Phantom Menace they had a double for the queen.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So I'm thinking that's where a lot of his inspiration for those Star Wars films, at least I know A New Hope for sure, and maybe a little bit of Phantom Menace was definitely inspirational for George Lucas at that time, since this movie came out in like '58, I think.
Yes, 1958. So a year after Throne of Blood.
Yes.
Yes.
There's another movie
So
we haven't yet watched called Seven Samurai, which was the basically like the original version of Magnificent Seven. We're gonna watch that eventually. Not sure when, but we will watch it. I'm trying to remember if
there's
there's. I'm trying to remember if there's a Japanese movie that had a character that basically represented Darth Vader, but I'm not sure
I
because
was gonna get on that because you
yeah,
told me about that. It was a good samurai movie.
yeah. So basically, Darth Vader was inspired to look like a samurai. Well, at least his helmet was, and he also was inspired by like World War II pilots who had the gas masks on the face, hence why he always has that breathing apparatus. So he was a combination figure. Um, hidden it's like a hidden mystery kind of thing. You're not supposed to see this guy's face, um, which kept to his lore until the prequel trilogy, of course, and the end of Return of the Jedi, after everybody found out who he really was. But the first Star Wars really you really don't look into that because it's like it's not explained at all, which is part of the reason why his character, even though he only had screen time for 12 minutes, and it was so like overshadowing, like he shadowed over everybody, which was one of the reasons why Star Wars is such a great film, and why I could see a lot of inspiration from the different Japanese films of the time that came out before it to be big inspirations for Star Wars, and most notably the Hidden Fortress.
Oh, definitely.
hmm Um, did we see anything else, or is that it?
No, but I got a list. I'm trying to make a list of films because I told you I really did enjoy Good Morning. So I was trying to find some late 50s and 60s films that were related to that we could watch. Because eventually I want to keep watching these films because uh we are trying to learn Japanese a lot, and uh
More or less.
we're trying to expand from not just watching American films. We also want to watch Japanese films.
Yeah, we're trying to
And
get used to the culture so we don't get culture shocked.
yeah. So yeah, because I wanted to just keep watching them. Like we could watch all these like any Japanese films. Like because I was thinking we could start watching some from the. Oh, that I forgot to mention. I did look it up last night. I wanted to watch this. I heard it's basically like a dark comedy slash horror film that was made in Japan in 1977. It's called, I think, House.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I heard about it.
The English version is called House, and it's
Yes,
I think the
yes,
synopsis is like these girls go to this house in rural Japan for the summer, and it's basically like a dark comedy slash horror film.
yes, it is. Excuse me. Um, that one, and then there's The Grudge, and then there's Ring, who are all inspired, which were basically remakes of the original Japanese versions. Um, I like to watch those during Halloween and get those out of the way too, because I haven't really seen. I've seen The Ring, but I haven't seen The Grudge, and I heard it's really good. So it's time to watch them, and I think this Halloween would be a good time to watch them. We could definitely watch House then too as well, if unless you want to
Oh
watch it
yeah, I was about
sooner.
to say.
hmm
Well, we could watch it. Um, oh, no, I'm really curious about it because I was thinking, um, we could probably watch that in that Godzilla movie you're talking about tonight.
hmm yeah, the one I'm referring to is Godzilla minus one, which is basically a remake of the original Godzilla that takes place in just after World War II in the early 40s or mid 40s. No, no, not early 40s, early 50s. My bad. And it's about the reconstruction period of Japan after all the firebombing and stuff. It's really good. And then we can go back and watch Godzilla Raids Again, which is the sequel to the 54 Godzilla. So we can start watching Godzilla movies and
Yeah.
get him into watching a bunch of Godzilla films like I did growing up.
Yeah, we want to watch a lot of Godzilla and samurai films. So like I'm looking up all these and also near Halloween, well minus House. We I was thinking we could do near Halloween, we could do our favorite we do an episode about favorite Halloween films from our childhood, and then another we can just do it throughout October. I wanted the first one
hmm
I wanted to do was like favorite childhood Halloween films, and then we could watch some American horror films and then watch some Japanese horror films.
Yeah, we have a small list we're compiling to watch in the month of October, getting ready for Halloween. Um,
Yeah, and yeah, because um, it's about to be August, and I
mm-hmm.
usually start preparing for Halloween in August because by August summer is kind of over for me. Like I'm already prepping for fall.
Yes. Um,
It's as much as I love summer and like the warmth and stuff, I just feel like it's too hot,
yeah.
and I'm ready for like the crisp, cool like fallness weather.
Yep. Anyways, let's give some examples of horror movies that we're going to plan to watch in October. I know Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of them.
Yes.
I know I should ask, but I want to make sure. The first Halloween, the first Friday the 13th, first Nightmare on Elm Street, get those out of the way. Maybe,
Yes, that was I forgot to mention because we were talking about different horror movies and stuff the other day. Halloween was another big one because that was Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that was her first role,
it
and that was
was.
what launched her into stardom because she has been in countless. She's been in the Halloween remakes and stuff like that, but that was her basically it basically launched her into like the spotlight basically.
Did you know she was like 20 years old at the time? Another adult
Oh
playing a
wow, I
teenager.
thought she was like 16 or something.
Yeah, they wanted an actress that was that teenager, an actual teenager. But teenagers at that time were very immature, so getting one was really difficult. So she was recommended to John Carpenter from someone, I think. I don't remember who. Because she did a TV commercial, I think, and she was picked up from that, and she was already 20 at that time, and so when they filmed Halloween, she did a convincing, like 17, 18 year old. Very convincing.
Oh yeah, well oh actually I think she's like, well she's not close to my grandma was born in 50, but I don't know how old Jamie because she looks good for her age.
She is, I will tell you, she's actually 2 years older than my dad.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah, she looks really wonderful for her age. She's a wonderful actress. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love Jamie Lee Curtis. She's been a lot of uh she was in this film that me and my mom and my dad watched when I was a kid because they liked that movie. It's called like Christmas with the Cranks, I
Oh
think.
yeah.
And it's a funny Christmas movie, so we could talk about that in our Christmas
When
episodes.
we do our Christmas list, yeah, we
Yeah,
can definitely talk about
Christmas
it.
definitely. But yeah, I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. She didn't do a lot of horror movies. She did a
She was
few.
in the I think the recent Halloween back
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
she was in the recent Halloween trilogy, the Blumhouse films. She was in all three of those. But she's been known to do mostly comedy roles since Halloween. I do remember her in True Lies, and I remember her. Um, what other movies?
She was in Trading Places.
Trading Places, yeah. And and I remember there's a little lore about her. After Halloween, she had her in Halloween she had natural hair, like that was her real hair. After that,
Yeah.
she started cutting it short, like how short it is today. And she
Yeah.
and in Halloween 2, when she came back for that sequel, they gave her a wig. And if you watch the
Yeah.
film, you notice that in Halloween 2, um, her hair don't look natural, don't look like it did in '78 at all. Um, but luckily, it worked out because uh, John Carpenter didn't want to direct the sequel at all because it felt like it was a good standalone, and I agree, it was a standalone. It should have been. Um, but the sequel, it was the same night, so they had to give her a wig because she already lopped it off at
Mhm.
that point. And when it comes to Halloween 2, you gotta decide which version you like the best because I think there's three different versions. There's a TV cut, a theater cut, and a producer's cut or a director's cut, and they're all different. Well, we'll get to that when we get to more Halloween stuff. But yeah, Rocky Horror Halloween, the first of every main slasher. We're going to even talk about Psycho at some point, um, which stars, funny enough, Jamie Lee Curtis's mother, Janet Leigh.
Yeah,
Um,
I forgot to mention that.
hmm
Alien.
Alien, of course, the first one. The second one's good, but the first one really sets the tone.
I heard that the second one. I don't know. I haven't seen the second one or the first one, but I heard from people. The second one was a horror, but it was more like action horror, kind of like
Action
a
horror, yep.
Predator.
Because James Cameron, who directed it, he just got off of Terminator, and he's known for his action horrorness and action films at the time. Um, Especially after doing the Terminator. Um, he wouldn't be able to direct the sequel to Aliens if he didn't do the Terminator. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, then there's also The Exorcist. Where we're going to do The Exorcist as well, and we'll talk about these movies when we watch them and put them in the podcast so we can get them off our chest. That'd be fresh in our mind, like Ohio Good Morning was.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love that
hmm
movie.
So yeah, we have big plans for holiday seasons. Um, I'm not sure what we plan to do about Thanksgiving, but we do have a list for Christmas and going on from there. We'll try to talk more furry stuff when we have
Really
more
isn't
furry
really
stuff to talk
Thanksgiving
about.
films.
There's not many, to be honest.
My dad says like trains, planes, and automobiles is.
That's probably the only one that really counts because it's like it's about two guys trying to get home for Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
it's a good comedy with. I love Steve Martin and I love John Candy equally. They're just the greatest comedy doodle I've ever seen in that film. It's also I think it's who directed it? John Hughes. I think it's a John Hughes film. Um, I have to look that up to be sure, but it's been noted for like uh, Steve Martin's most f bombs dropped in a single shot in the film. Like I think the total was like 14 or something like that, and it was all Steve Martin. Nothing was dubbed. It was all him. It's a great film for sure. I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in ages. But yeah, we need to watch that one around Thanksgiving. Um, let's talk. Recently, we watched the Boy and the Heron. Let's talk about that one real quick before we end.
Oh yeah. Um, I enjoyed that. It was a really wonderful film. Matt hasn't seen this film surprisingly, but it Boy and the Heron reminded me a lot of the first Chronicles of Narnia film, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I was
It
an
was
adult by
basically
the time it came out.
yeah, basically it's the beginning of Boy and the Heron takes place during
World War Two.
the Pacific War, I think in around like 1943. So it's
Yeah,
when the US was bombing Japan and stuff, and the beginning, that's what it basically is. It's like the I think isn't his name like Mahito?
it's Mahito. Yeah.
Mahito. He basically he's the main character. He
Mhm.
wakes up and he sees I think it's Tokyo.
Yeah, he's in Tokyo at
Yeah,
first.
he's in Tokyo and it's getting bombed. It reminded me of, like, the beginning part of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where they're getting all the stuff to get into the shelter because London is getting bombed during like the Blitz.
Yeah, that's right.
And uh, basically, um, Mahito and his father both leave Tokyo and they move with Mahito's stepmother. I think is her name Natsuko.
Yeah, Natsuko.
Yeah, Natsuko, who is pregnant.
Yep, and he's not happy about
It's-
it.
Yeah. So it's basically like well, I see similarities between Narnia. I'm not gonna say it's like basically like Narnia, but because it's not. There's like so many differences between it, but like there's similarities between both of the movies. It's like the like children that are being evacuated from war and going to like a rural countryside and getting transported to like a magical world, basically.
Yeah, instead of a wardrobe, it's this tower that's built over what looks like a
Yeah, it's a
meteor.
tower
Yeah.
built near I think the mansion or whatever
Mhm.
the
In the
place that they're
backyard.
staying at.
Yeah.
And Mahito meets this heron
Gray herring. Yes.
that yeah,
Which
and
is creepy as heck when
it's
he start.
it's creepy, but I liked his character. He was funny.
He was a funny
Um,
character, but when he started showing those teeth, I was like, "Oh my gosh, really?"
yeah, because I think you said that he was supposed to be like he was actually a human, but he got cursed. I think
It seemed like that. What they didn't really talk about his
they
backstory.
didn't really like uh verify what that
I'm
what.
thinking what they were trying to go with was that the great uncle or
Hmm.
grand uncle, is what his name was,
Yeah.
played by Mark Hamill, by the way, fantastic job. Um,
Yes.
he created this world inside this tower he built, and after disappearing, he created this whole world um, that he was controlling with special rocks that he found or stones that he can predict when it was gonna end and stuff, which is really crazy. And it was like almost like a
Yeah.
time tunnel kind of thing where it's like different doorways would lift to different time areas or different realms, so to speak, because the meteor was from all over the place. And
Yeah.
and our hero gets basically trapped in here by the herring, like the heron.
Mahito.
Yeah, Mojito, and to try and save his mother, but his mother wasn't there. It was like the fabrication of his mother, and
Yes.
this pisses him off like really bad. So he's kind of stuck there trying to get out, and but he wants to save uh what's her name? Shiz
Natsuko.
Natsuko. Sorry, my memory's terrible. Um,
And I also love the part where that old woman was telling his father a story and she's like like doing like the explosion noises.
yep.
And then basically his father realizes that Mahito is missing and so is Natsuko and he's like where are they? And so he goes looking for them and it's that part that you like. One of the doors to the world opens and he sees Mahito. He's like, "Oh, it's Mahito," and he tries to get him, and all these like birds come out, and he's like slashing them with his katana and stuff. And he's like, "I forgot what he can say something like
Uh,
my little Mahito got turned into a pudgy or something like
Yeah,
that."
it's like he Mojito couldn't let go of the door handle and he was forced to go back in. But all these parakeets escaped at the same time. They're really fat, big, human-sized birds
They want to eat him.
in the world, and they wanted to eat them. And so when they escaped, they flew off at the father, and he was slicing at them. And right when Mojito disappears, he's like, "My little Mojito, he turned into a pudgy." It's just one,
And
mm, just a good scene.
Good. There was also the scene that me and Matt Winstead um also, this is well, you already did a spoiler warning, so you needed to see this if
Spoiler
you
warning
wanna don't
again.
get spoilers. Um, it's in the beginning scene where he gets beaten up at school and he's walking home, picks up a rock and, bashes his temple, and we just were like, "Oh god," because it, like, just showed, like, just a lot of blood.
Oh yeah, that was like
It was
there's so much blood.
just
It was too
Deep
much,
gash just flowing.
like unreal amounts of blood, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
me
then,
and Matt were like taking off guard because it was just like, what's he doing with the rock? And it just shows him like just wince when he does. I'm like, oh my gosh, why?
it's like right near his temple too, where all the blood is collected. Why it's going into
And
the
then
brain and
he just
sciences.
tells his dad that he fell, and his dad's like, I'm gonna take this with the school.
Yeah, the dad didn't believe
He
him
like,
at all.
because the
And
dad thinks that like a kid like bashed him in the head with a rock.
that was a lot of blood. The boy should have passed out. There was no way.
I know. Yeah, and we were just like, oh gosh, we just both like winced.
Anyways, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. Miyazaki's
I did
always
too.
always wonderful. Let's see if he can knock out a couple more before his time comes, because he's still working on some
Yeah.
right now.
I'm excited to see them because I know it's gonna probably take until probably the early next decade, I believe.
2030
Because his
something, I guess. I don't
yeah
know.
his films take a long time, but they're so worth it when it comes out. Because Boy and the Heron, I think they worked on it. Uh, I think pre and post COVID-19.
Yeah.
So I think it was also delayed. I think because of COVID-19, and that's why it was released in 2023.
Yep. Speaking of Miyazaki, I saw this cosplayer dressed like him. It was kind of cool. He had a white wig or dyed his hair and had a fake beard and had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and was like, "Yeah, guess who I am?" It's like, "Yay, it's Miyazaki." Oh, anyways, anything else you want to talk about?
Um, no, but I'm going to I will be making lists of movies we could watch. Um,
Absolutely.
whether it be just we will get back to Disney eventually, but
Eventually,
we're kind of in our like phase of like watching Japanese cinema
we're
and
like
Ghibli
we're
films.
like Japanese centered right now. We're still
Yeah.
we want to learn Japanese and we want to go to Japan and experience the culture for ourselves. Uh, Eventually, money, whenever we live together, whatever, whenever is whenever is whenever. Anyway, so is that all we're going to talk about today? Yes, no, maybe so.
Oh, sorry.
Nothing on your
Um,
mind?
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, this has been Mizu Midori podcast. This is episode 3, and I hope you enjoy it. See you again in the future. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.